For most people, Frog Week only lasts for 7 days a year. For me, it lasts the whole year, and I celebrate it over 7 days. The moment that one Frog Week ends, the next one begins. While the videos may not be released until the spring, the story is already unfolding long before the first episode premieres. As summer fades into autumn, cameras continue recording. Trail cameras continue to remain in the field, and weather stations monitor the changing conditions. Conservation projects continue. As the forests begin preparing for another winter, and we begin preparing for another season of discovery, because Frog Week is more than a collection of videos. It is a year-long effort to document the frogs and toads of western and central Pennsylvania. A story that unfolds across every season. A story told through fieldwork, conservation, citizen science, and exploration. The success for the early breeding amphibians like wood frogs is dependent upon the snowpacks and how much precipitation we get over the winter. If we have a dry winter or a warmer winter, the vernal pools are in jeopardy of starting out completely dry to start the season. But if we have a snowy winter, like we did in most of western and central Pennsylvania, the momentum begins to shift, and it might mean the wood frogs and other early breeding amphibians have an advantage to start the year. Over the 8 years of doing the Frog Week Conservation Project, I think I now finally understand the purpose behind all of the seasons. The fall foliage and then the leaf litter that comes from it, allowing the frogs and toads to bury underneath it, like the wood frogs and other freeze-tolerant species, using that to protect themselves from the harsh winters, and then the snowpacks covering the landscape across central and western Pennsylvania. There's truly no way to observe its beauty than from 400 feet up, looking at all of the mountains and the peaks covered in white. It's something that I haven't seen very often over the course of these 8 years. Together, PA Woods and Forests Media, and Josh's Frogs follow the stories of Pennsylvania's frogs and toads through conservation, ambassador animals, citizen science, habitat creation, and exploration. Every season adds another chapter. Every observation adds another clue. Every frog has a story worth telling. And my name is Aaron Capoli. I'm the creator of Frog Week and the creator of Woods and Forests Media. In our brand, we believe the woods are full of stories, and I believe this year is the greatest story that we've ever told. Welcome to Frog Week 2026. An unusually warm February began the season early. We're looking at a bullfrog. You can see another green frog right there. So we have another frog here. So we've seen about 6 frogs tonight. Could be.
Good froggo.
I'm just gonna take a quick video here. Found some wood frogs. There's actually 2 who are right by each other, which I think is really neat. But we're just gonna focus on this one here. Take a look at that. So it's the beginning of the season. There he is. Had to get him in focus. You can see the other one is under the leaves. You just see the snout. But how cool is that, guys? The start of the season is upon us. All these wood frogs have yet to go into the vernal pools, but they're out here waiting. I guess they just woke up. But what a cool opportunity to be up here for the first time and actually see this. Very rarely do you get a chance to see them before they go into the pools. It's either usually all or nothing. So really special to see this. One of the weirdest observations of the year by far was seeing thousands of wood frogs lining up along the hillside but not going into the vernal pool, even though it was filled with water. They were hiding under the leaf litter, almost like they were waiting for something to trigger them and initiate the breeding season. There's a couple around. I like to think of the ephemeral rains as the tide rolling in and rolling out, and once it rolls in, it brings the explosive behavior of the wood frogs along with it, and there's no going back from there. After weeks of observing these frogs choosing not to go into the vernal pools, the ephemeral rains kicked in, and the Frog Week season was finally underway. As we tell the stories about the frogs and toads across central and western Pennsylvania, we will lean heavy on regional and local publications from authors who actually live in the target range. We will also utilize databases from the state and also from iNaturalist and some international publications to tell the story about the frogs and toads in our target range. And the wood frogs have a story worth sharing. In recent findings, the wood frogs have shown to be evolving and having even more of a tolerance to salinity in the water. For vernal pool breeding species, they often lay their eggs near roads. That means all of the salt and brine that comes off of the roads in the winter seeps into these vernal pools. As the snow and ice melts, it drags all of that into these pools of water. This is quite the adaptation for the pond frog that finds itself spending the least amount of time in the water. One observation that I found to be the most remarkable when filming the wood frogs during their breeding season actually comes from one of their predators. The eastern newt. It's quite literally an all-you-can-eat buffet for these newts, preying upon the embryos inside of these egg masses. I've never seen eastern newts consume eggs as soon as they came out of the wood frogs, but that's essentially what was happening on this night. As the explosive breeding behavior was unfolding, the newts were immediately going to the egg masses, and as these 4 hours would unfold, the newts would have enough food to last them for months because they wouldn't just stop at eating the embryos, they would consume the tadpoles that come out of these eggs. The newts themselves are untouchable because of their toxins that they secrete. The frogs can't eat them. All they could do is watch, helplessly. I often wonder what goes through the minds of the wood frogs, especially the females that are laying their eggs in front of the eastern newts that are consuming them. Many don't understand that even upon conception, as the wood frogs lay their eggs, their offspring are already being hunted. From the first moments that they're welcomed into this world, it is already a miracle just to survive the night. As these newts celebrate the new feast that awaits them inside their pools of water, they even reproduce alongside the eggs of the wood frogs. On a positive note, the wood frog has historically been abundant throughout the state of Pennsylvania, and they don't seem to be in any jeopardy of declining anytime soon. Even though these animals are very fragile, they've become very well adapted to edge habitats and even disturbed and deforested areas. This population in Cambria County has pioneered this vernal pool less than a year after it was completely timber harvested, but yet, somehow, they found this space, and I've been filming them ever since. But they are a little bit more jumpy than the other population in Westmoreland County. Filming each population, no matter the species, they all present their own challenges. And this year, I had a great idea. I utilized trail cams to catch American toads and other populations of wood frogs breeding throughout the season. With this population being so nervous around people, and understandably so, I decided to deploy the trail camera in front of this population to see what would happen. If the frogs would be afraid of the trail camera because they can still see infrared light, or if they would feel safe enough to resume activities since I was finally gone. Utilizing the infrared spectrum of these cameras, we could finally observe this population like we never have before. So take a look and see how these wood frogs behave when there is no cameraman and it's just the wood frogs in the middle of the forest with the trail camera. This trail camera was deployed for only 2 hours, so all of this activity was taking place very quickly within the vernal pool, and it's a good thing that it did, because the weather took a turn dramatically. A large snow squall was moving into the area. The barometric pressure was changing rapidly, and these wood frogs were responding because of it. However, that also meant it was going to become dangerous to start driving, so I had to retrieve the trail camera and hope that I could get out of there, as these blizzard-like conditions would last for a long period of time. As the trail camera was deployed, I made my trip back to the top of this mountain to continue filming these wood frogs. Even though I didn't have another trail camera to set up for this population, I did have my infrared goggles, and I was able to get some amazing footage from the goggles, showcasing even more in the infrared spectrum. You had a chance to see how these frogs would light up on the screen, and we also could see the newts continuing to consume all of these eggs. But whether I was getting the footage from the trail camera or getting the footage from the binoculars, I knew as the snow squall moved forward, I had to wrap up for the night and hope I would get another chance to film the wood frogs. It's never a guarantee, as their explosive breeding season can come and go within a matter of hours, and this kind of a snow squall moving through could have lasted with snow laying on the ground for days. It was a very unlucky St. Patrick's Day for these wood frogs, as the snowfall would last for days. The hope was, once it finally would melt, the wood frogs would resume breeding activity. I was a little disappointed to find they did in fact do that, and I had missed one of the populations historically I had filmed over the years. Looks like we missed the most important time for these wood frogs. You can see here we have the majority of the egg clutches laid. It's probably the most I've ever seen this in this vicinity. So the water is very deep, but it's misleading. The water is going to retreat quickly, so this could be an issue for these wood frog tadpoles. There's another opportunity here to see. These are more eggs that have been laid. I mean, we can see here, oh, there's a newt that was in there swimming through the egg clutches. Look at that. This was one of the most successful years for these wood frogs down here. A little disappointed I didn't get a chance to film it, but look at that. So look at that, guys. This population is a little bit different. They follow their own rules compared to the other populations we monitor, but this is by far the most egg clutches I've ever seen, with them being in dangerous places though. Right here, even if it is not super far away from a deeper body of water, it's very risky. I have not seen too many of these survive, so it's something to see how these wood frogs maybe were tricked from how rainy it's been to lay their eggs right here, just like the very first population, because these are going to dry up very quickly. So it's disappointing, but also really exciting to see how many there were, and they're actually still calling. This is the first time I've ever caught a wood frog in the net. think he understands now I'm trying to help him. You're free, buddy. Go ahead. You're free. We can help him out here. You're free, man. There you go. I think that's where he was headed. Because that is the vernal pool. So put him in the right direction. He's already got his eyes locked on it, and there's spotted salamanders and wood frogs in there, and spring peepers. But just want to watch him and make sure he gets down, or at least he doesn't come back up and fall back in. What a beautiful night. Come on. I'll get you. Beautiful. Beautiful froggy. Come on. I'm gonna set her, it's a female. I'll set her off in the water since I disrupted her movement. Oh, come here, buddy. Well, this one's moving quickly. You guys are used to it around here, huh? That's good. That's a good thing. Here, we'll use some water a little bit. There you go, buddy. And off he goes. Guys, I'm back up here at the most notorious wood frog spot. We get a picture here. I'll get a couple of shots. All those wood frog eggs, but guys, like, it's silent. It's actually quiet, and there are still a few, maybe a dozen. I'd say maybe there's like 35 or so frogs like around the water, but they dumped so many eggs that the breeding season, like, they're already out. Like, the females are out. The bachelors that are left are kind of all that's left. The handful of females that haven't laid their eggs yet. But look at this. I mean, where the heck are you going? There's like nowhere to go for you. That's like a stream, buddy. There you go. There you go, buddy. As quickly as the wood frog breeding season began, the incredible spectacle was over. As this spring continued to unfold, it was unlike anything I've ever seen before. There were flashes of really warm nights, almost like the middle of summer, and there were nights so cold that the snow would cover the landscape, time and time again. Despite all of this very weird weather, a surprise of the American toads and pickerel frogs emerging early. Time would only tell, but this was going to be a very fast-paced season. It was unclear whether the breeding activity would begin for the American toads and pickerel frogs, or if the streaky weather conditions would delay them. But one thing was for sure, this was only the beginning, and these Pennsylvania springs wait for no one. As these woods are full of stories, we're going to tell each one as they unfold for all of these frogs and toads. Thank you for watching the first episode of Frog Week. I hope you'll continue to follow as we uncover all of the stories of these different species. I'm going to leave the distribution maps of what we've uncovered for these frogs and toads. As we followed the populations of breeding wood frogs, we've found them in each of our target counties, and you can see all of our records on the Frog Week 2026 iNaturalist project. Take a look at all the sources, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share for more content. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.